Hello everyone, this is Asghar Nazir. Today we will discuss about the scanner class and how to take the user input from the keyboard. Scanner is a class just like all the other classes that we have been creating in these videos. It's just a special class that Java developers have created, the guys who created Java, so that we can take the input from the users with the help of keyboard easily. So it contains some logic that we can use to take the input from the keyboard. That's exactly how we will be taking the input from the keyboard. We will be using some methods from the scanner class, and I will explain a little bit about the methods. What are they? So why we should use the scanner class? We should use the scanner class because it makes our programs more interactive. Instead of hard coding the values inside the variables just like we have been doing, we can take the input from the user and then we can make the programs more interactive and fun. So let's learn about how to use the scanner class. I have already created a demo. I will first explain to you how to use this scanner class, what are the components, and I will explain all of the parts one by one. So this is the syntax that we need to use if we want to use the scanner class in our code. So let me explain it one by one. This scanner is the name of the class, just like we have created this scanner demo here, just like we create any other class by right clicking on the package and then saying new and then class. All the other classes that we have created before this, it's just a class that is created by Java developers. And this one, after the scanner, we are just creating a variable name, just like we create a variable, for example, of type double, and let's say we call it age or something. This part before the equal to sign, we are just creating a variable of the scanner class, and then we have this assignment operator and then this new keyword. This new keyword is used to create the objects from the classes, and we don't need to worry about what is an object and how we can create an object from a class. I will explain in a very great detail later on what are objects, how they work, and how we can create them from the classes. So here we are creating the object of the class, and this system.in is telling the scanner class that we are interested in taking the input from the keyboard. The scanner class can also be used to read the data from the file. For now, we will be using the syntax as it is. Later on, I will explain each and every part again in a great detail that what we are doing in here. And the scan, it can be anything. You can call it input or fetch or scan, but all other parts, they will stay the same whenever we have to take the input from the keyboard. And I have also written extensive notes for these parts. You can go through these notes and then you can later on understand what is going on. Now, to take the input from the scanner class, we have multiple methods. For example, we learned that there are 8 basic primitive data types in Java. So for each primitive type, there is a separate method that we have to use. For example, if we have to take the input in the form of an integer, we have to use a different method. If we have to take the double as the input from the keyboard, we have to use a different method. So here below, this is just a simple example that how we can use the scanner class to take the string type input from the keyboard. So we need to write this line here, and then whatever variable name we use here, we must use the same exact variable name here. This is just a print statement which is saying on the console that please enter your name. So this will be displayed to the user first, so that user knows what the program is asking for. This will say please enter your name. Then we are creating a variable of type string, and then after the equal to sign, we are using this new syntax. We have not used this syntax before. So let me explain a little bit. This next is a method, and a method is nothing but a group of statements which are executed together by just writing the name of the method. I will explain in a very great detail what are methods, how they work, so don't worry about it for now if you fully don't understand what is going on. So scan is a variable or an object of this scanner class. On that scanner class, we are calling a method next, which will wait for the user to enter something from the keyboard. When we will run this program, this line number 28, it will wait for the user to enter something, and then on the next line we are simply displaying it. So it will take the input, and then with the help of assignment operator, that input will get stored inside this name variable, and then we can use this variable name inside the if else conditions, or we can just print it out, or we can do whatever we want to it. So let me show you a demo how it works. So let me run this code, and as you can see, now we see this print out on the console, and check this out, the program has stopped unless and until we enter the name, we enter something in the form of a string. This program will not proceed. So let me enter my name. So and I enter my name and then I hit enter, and then it says hi Oscar, and then the program ends. So whenever we will be using the scanner class, make sure that you enter something in the console if you have used any of the method to take the input from the user. Otherwise your program will be in the halted state and it will not work. Now let's learn how to take the other types of inputs from the keyboard, like the double type, boolean type, or character type. So I have already created another demo, and let me explain this demo to you line by line. Again, whenever we need to take the input from the keyboard, we will be needing this line. So this line is same as the line in the previous class. Then I am printing on the console that hey, please enter your age. And again, this time I use a different method. This time I say nextInt. So scan and then a dot and then nextInt. This method is designed to take the int type of input from the keyboard. And remember, if you are calling a method to take an int type of input and then accidentally or intentionally if you enter, let's say, a string type of input, your program will fail. It will not work. So we have to use the same exact type of method. If I am planning to take the int type of input, I must use this nextInt method and I must store it inside an int variable. Otherwise it will not work. Then on the next line I am printing the age and I'm saying you are age plus years old. So I will see on the console you are, let's say if the user enters 20, I will see on the console user is 20 years old. And let me also run it. Because of the line 13, I see please enter your age, and then the program waits for my input, and let's say I enter 27. The moment I hit enter, and we need to hit the enter as well, the moment I hit enter, it runs the next line of code. It says you are and then the age, which I entered as 27, and then years old. And then it again prints the next line, are you happy, and then it waits for the input. Here on this line number 18, I am waiting for a boolean type of input. So remember, booleans, they can only contain two values, true or false. So now it is waiting for us to enter true or false. So let me enter true and then hit enter again, and then it captures that boolean. It stores that inside the happy variable, and then I am using that variable to again print you are happy, true or false. So it does that, it prints you are happy and then true. Then it executes the next line of code. It asks the user to enter the price of eggs, and here I am using next double method. This method is used to take the floating point numbers as the input. So let's say if I enter 1.25 and then hit enter, then it says price of the eggs is 1.25. Next is an example of how to take the character type input, and it's a little different than the other one. So first I have to say scan, then I have to call a method called next, and then again another dot, and then I have to say char at, and I always should be passing 0 here. Let me show you how it works. So let me enter the male M, and then it says your gender is M. Now this next type of input, it's very special. Here I am using next line method. Next line method is used when we have to take the complete sentences from the user, which can include spaces as well. If we are using the next line method after any method from the scanner class, it will not work, because next can consume the enters as well from your keyboard. Like for example, when I entered my gender M, I also pressed the enter button. It has consumed that enter button, it has taken that as a new line, and it has, if you can see, there is a space that it has printed here. So whenever we have to take the complete sentences, and if we are using any methods, like if we have used the next method before next line, or next double before next line, or next boolean before it, make sure that you are running this piece of code so that this line can consume that press of enter, and then from the next line we can take the fresh inputs. Let me run it again to show you that this time it will indeed ask me for a sentence. It will store it inside this sentence variable here, and then it will print it. Previously it asked me for entering any sentence, as you can see here, and then it right away, it did not wait for me and it printed you entered something. So this is bad. It did not wait for me to enter my sentence, but this time, because I have written an extra next line method here, this time it will wait. So please enter your age. So let's say 43, and then this time let me enter false, and then 12.5, and then male, and this time check this out, it says please enter any sentence, and then it waits, and now I can say, let's say Java is fun. So I can enter complete sentences including spaces with the help of next line method. And now if I hit enter, it says you entered Java is fun. Let me show it to again. If I comment this out, and let me also comment out all the code above it, and just leave this jar method here. So control shift / to comment out multiple lines. So I'm only asking for the gender input here, and then after that I use the next line method. But check this out, I have commented out this next line. So if I run this now, it asks me for the gender, but it does not wait for me to enter the sentence. So if you are using any other method from the scanner class before next line, you must write the, it's just a way around, to avoid the situation. You have to just put an extra scan.nextInt to avoid the situation. This time it will wait for me, it will wait for my input. So let me run it again. Enter your gender, and then it says gender is F, and then it waits, next line is tricky, and then it says next line is tricky. So whenever you are using this next line, and if you are not using any methods before that, then it will always work, then you don't need this extra line of code. So let me also show you that possibility. So I comment this out. Now I am not using any method from the scanner class before or above this line. Check this out, all the code is commented out. This time I will not be getting any issues. This time it will work just fine. It only happens when we have used any other method from the scanner class before the next line. So it says please enter the sentence, and then it waits. So it says I got it. Okay, this time. These are two little different things in the scanner class, that if we have to take the a char as the input, we need to use next and then dot, char at, and then 0. And if we are planning to take the complete lines from the keyboard, claim complete sentences, then we use the next line method. And remember again, if you are using any other method before scan, then you should write an extra scan.nextInt to make it work. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.